Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not crying, you're crying. Last night on The Walking Dead, we said goodbye to one of its most beloved characters in Carl. Except, no. Carl was kind of a little shit for about 80% of the show. Everybody's acting like they just killed off the most beloved character. Oh my god, I'm not watching The Walking Dead anymore. They don't have Carl anymore. Carl. People are more upset about what Carl was supposed to be than what he was. About what Carl could have been than what he was. Let's look back on what Carl actually has been throughout the seasons, and I'll tell you if I actually feel sad about him dying. Spoiler alert. Not really. Season 1. Carl is young. He doesn't have that much to do. He's just this little pale white boy with this little haircut, and he just a cute little thing, ain't he? Then we go to season 2, and they're trying to give him characterization, and it's the biggest fucking mistake ever. Carl is annoying. He's a plot device. He's annoying. From the first episode, literally the first episode, he sees a deer. And for some reason, he has to walk over and be with the deer. And Rick doesn't, walk over there with him because, you'd let your 8-year-old child walk up to a wild deer, especially in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's the most safe thing you can do. He gets shot. A bullet through the deer, through him, and falls to the ground. He's sick for a few episodes, possibly gonna die. Let's not forget that seizure. It's not supposed to be funny. Then all of a sudden, they find Sophia in the barn, and Carl becomes an atheist. He's like, if you believe in heaven, then you're an idiot too. Talking to Carol, and Carol goes over to Rick, and oh no, Carl's losing his humanity, and he's an atheist. It's not real. There's no build up. It's just one day, Carl don't believe in God, and we're supposed to feel bad for Rick. It's not because we give a shit about Carl. It's about how Carl has an effect on Rick. My problem with Carl is, for some reason, nobody's ever watching him, but people are always looking for him. How many times did Lori say, "Where's Carl?" How many times did Rick say, "Where's Carl?" Oh yeah, and he got Dale killed. And that was one of the problems that we always had with Carl. He just couldn't sit his ass down. Season 3, they're slightly redeeming him. He's not that bad. He's useful now. He's got hair like his mom, and he can shoot people. Season 3. Remember when Michonne was a piece of shit too? How she would just literally, people would ask her stuff and she just wouldn't answer because they were like, this makes Michonne mysterious. She doesn't always use her words. She uses her eyes. And let's not forget, he killed Lori. So that gives him about at least 100 points in my book. Then we got season 4. Oh, boy. Carl just, the prison gets attacked, and Carl is on his own with Rick, and for some reason, Carl just becomes a little shit again. His dad can barely walk, and he's trying to find him, and he's calling for his name, and he's just not answering, and he just starts talking random shit to his dad while his dad's unconscious, brings up his dead mother that he killed, and it's just why can't Carl die now? Kill him. Nothing like he was in the comics. In the comics, he actually is a cool guy. We actually care about what happens to Carl, and not just the effect that it has on Rick, what happens to him. Then we go on to season 5, and Carl's there. Carl is there, I swear. Carl is semi-useful in season 5, he's not useless. Season 6, Carl wants his dick wet. Season 6 is the season where Carl actually get his eye shot and has a big old hole where his eye used to be. We feel for him. I mean, he has sort of redeemed himself by this point, but let's just say I'm an asshole sometimes when it comes to The Walking Dead. I forgave Carl, but I had not forgiven Carl, if that makes any sense at all. We get on to season 7, and Carl could get his hand cut off by Rick, but you know, they actually is just Negan trying to break Rick, and it kind of works for a few episodes. Rick is pretty broken, but this video isn't about Rick. Season 7, Carl, the little shit he is, decides to get on the back of a truck and invade Negan's compound all by himself. Like he was just gonna go in there and kill people. You got one eye. If somebody hits you with that left hook, you ain't gonna see it coming. Carl is a little bit more of a badass this season. He's coming into his own. He's matured a lot. And then we get to season 8. What's Carl really been doing? You know, Carl ain't been doing that much. Until one day, all of a sudden, Carl's in the woods with somebody and gets bitten. And it's not revealed that he's bitten, but later on, we find out that is what happened. And that's when we get the mid-season finale cliffhanger that Carl has been bitten, he's gonna die, and everybody's wondering, how is Walking Dead gonna fuck this up? Here we are. Did they fuck it up? No. They didn't fuck it up. Did they try to force some kind of emotional send-off? Yes. Yes, they did. There was even a scene where Judith is supposedly crying because her big brother is dying, but the worst part is the camera is clearly on her, and they just throw in this baby crying sound.
Well,
Baby's not even crying. Like, it's not that hard for a baby to cry. Like, if you just waited a little time, if she was just a little hungry or like shit herself, she would have cried. You didn't just have to insert a baby crying sound. And then they have her face away from the camera with the baby crying sound still happening, as if she's just the most calmest crier ever. Oh. She gracefully cries. She doesn't move when she cries. She just gracefully moves as she cries. And we're supposed to think that the baby understands death. Yeah, that the baby understands death. Yeah. You ain't get no emotion over here. Everybody's saying goodbye, and really, once again, do we really care that Carl's dying? Or do we care about how it affects Rick? The first shot of the episode is Rick's eyes, and it is the most heartbreaking part of the entire episode. Hearing Carl kill himself with that silent gun, that was hard to hear, I guess you could say, but honestly, what effect it had on Rick is why we care. Carl, we didn't always love you, but it's sad to see you go. Because the show fucked you up, man. The show fucked you up. You weren't supposed to be like that. You were supposed to not only live on, but you were supposed to be an important, integral part in the story. You were supposed to be the next generation of Grimes, and it's all on Judith. And in order for Judith to grow up, Rick gotta get old as hell. I'm talking about really old. Judith can't be older than about 5 years old right now. And that would mean that she has about a good 10 years before she's a viable character. And no, Rick has to get super old in order for her to be important. Let me know what you think in the comment section. How did you feel about Carl dying? Be sure to like this video, share it on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter at ElonRich, ENT, follow me on Instagram at ElonRich, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. I'm Elon Rich, and you know, the Walking Dead videos have been like my most successful stuff, but I don't want to just keep making Walking Dead videos, you know? Shit.
Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Trap with the chickens like Popeye.